I'm gonna check on Facebook. to make sure that it's- All right. Got the agenda.
That's going.
All right. Yep, I could hear it.
Are we on live or just live?
You guys ready?
Yeah. I gotta get out of here.
Good morning, everyone. This is November 1st, and this is the Canesburg Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board meeting. We're going to open at 8:03. Members present, Amanda Carrasco, Lauren Cooper, Lackey, Reggie Gerke, myself, Leslie Carpenter, June Hess. Absent is Mr. Safarjan today. And number 2, we're going to open a public comment. Anyone? Okay, moving on to item number 3, Simpson Street, discussion and possible action.
I emailed that in just to kind of see about for the next year. We had talked about it in the past that we have businesses on Simpson that are new since the bid was developed. They're very involved in town and they consider themselves downtown. I know remapping is like a huge thing, but we talked about possibly doing like an affiliate membership where they have the option of joining the bid. So I just wanted to put that out for discussion because these are large businesses that have events and, like, for example, the winery is very involved. They're always hosting stuff and tagging us, and they consider themselves downtown. So I just wanted to ask because I wasn't here when the map was originally developed. I know Simpson Street was not included. It wasn't as active as it is now. There was only a few businesses down there, so I opened the discussion and see what it could be for next year.
Abigail, is there a reason why we can't take on affiliate members?
I know we've talked about this before, and when Amanda emailed that to me, I reached out to Mike Nolan. We had something else that was going on that was time sensitive, so he hasn't gotten back to me regarding it. I think the last time we talked about it, I know Jolene knows the history of Simpson Street and why it's not included in the bid. It has to, I don't know if there could be people that just want to opt in, since it's an actual zone that's set by an election that happened and it's in the ordinance. I think to amend that, it has to open to an election to all the businesses in that zone that you want to annex in, and there has to be a majority vote to enter the bid.
Okay.
So if one business wants to, but all of them around them do not want to,
Right.
then it might not be possible. But I could get more information. I was hoping Mike would email me, but he hasn't yet.
Would it be, a question for Mike would be, would it be a have to not pass vote like the bid was? You know what I mean? That's not the right way to say it.
The no vote?
The no vote. Like, if we put it to that section, you want to be part of it.
Yeah.
If only one person voted no, but there was a percentage,
Yeah.
would it pass regardless?
I don't know for sure, but
Yeah,
I
it's a
would
question
think it
we would
would be
ask
the same way that this was formed, but yeah. And it's percentage on how much they pay for a business license.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what Mike says and move on from there.
Yeah.
So, and have notes.
If you could tell me like the region that you feel is interested.
So it would be the Sierra Street entrance where we say that this is where you go downtown. So all those
Adventist
businesses,
Health.
Adventist Health, Restaurant, Katie's
Grocery
Kitchen,
Outlet.
Grocery Outlet, which is very
That's
involved
Rose.
in town.
Ronald's
Yeah,
Torres.
that's Rose. And Ramos Torres is the one that has the most events that we, essentially ignore on social media because they're not included in the district, so we don't share and promote
Yeah.
it, but it's, they're very involved downtown. And even like Amperan's very, like, they're involved in things, they're right there too. So that was my,
So at least from Adventist Health to Draper, and then,
even like,
so then it would be Shell,
yeah,
Amperins,
mhm.
okay.
At least having a discussion on it, so we could tell them, you know, this is something that we're not able to do right now, but we talked
There's
about
the
it.
dog groomers down there, and Sassman's, and, Bill's, and there are a few people down there.
Falcon Tire.
Falcon Tire, the Tent Masters, there are quite a few little businesses down through there that may be interested.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna look to Mike for direction on that. Okay, so, thank you, Amanda. Item number 4, Thursday night, holiday shopping hours, discussion, possible action. This would begin this week or next week.
Actually, yeah, next week, because this Saturday's the kickoff.
Yeah, after kickoff. Did you put this on, Amanda?
Yeah, I just threw it out there, Peyton and I were talking about what we did last year, and we're like, oh, you know what, we haven't talked about Thursday nights, let's talk about it. I don't know how many people participated last year to maybe even get their feedback if they want to do that. My store stayed open, we didn't stay till 8 every week because after the time change, 8 feels like midnight. It's so late and dark, but we did extend our hours on Thursdays, and, I know other stores do it too, but I just wanted to see if that's something the bid wants to encourage, promote,
Yeah.
et
I think it's
cetera.
worth encouraging.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still ultimate, we can't force them to stay open.
Right,
but-
it's definitely up to each
Maybe
individual
until
business.
7, because that gives people an additional 2 hours of shopping after like the 5 o'clock closing.
That was
And
what we
then
did with
at
7
least- oh,
too,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
that, did you say, I can't remember,
I stay open,
okay. Well, sometimes we're just doing stuff anyway.
Yeah.
yeah. It's not, for me personally, I'm off Draper, you know, but I'm a team player, I'll stay. No big deal.
Well, I feel like this year might be a little bit busier too, just because like, I know Roadhouse is open later and there's a lot of people hanging out down there. So there's just more people in town later now. So it might be kind of a good,
No, absolutely, I think that we should encourage it. So, to encourage, would you like us to create a flyer and just kind of go, drop flyers off to, retail and just kind of let them know, this is what we're encouraging?
a
Yeah.
text and that's
Maybe a
what's.
text, an email, and a flyer? Yeah, okay. And that would be, also just kind of tapping in on that Friday of the old Veronica. That Friday, I know a lot of people don't open, but if we can encourage everybody to be open in that evening,
Mhm.
so that when people come down, there's, you know, they don't just walk by tree, and then there's nothing for them to, I know Cuppa stays open later, don't they?
Yeah, they will.
Usually?
They will
They
this
stay
year.
open later in the restaurants too.
Yeah, and,
So-
like, for the parade, they were able to stay open, but they did serve and sell coffee, like, on a, like, outside of the business, so
Mhm.
the need for beverages and things to do is there, because it was so crazy last year.
Mhm.
And I think that's Black Friday too, so people are doing their things during the day, you know, they're hitting their Fresno stores, and then they wanna just come downtown and have that little evening with their family, I think, with the tree lighting. Nobody does it like Kingsburg does, you know?
So those are the two things, Thursday night, and then tree lighting, we wanna encourage people to stay open later on that night as well.
Since we're discussing, the holiday kickoff on
Mhm.
Saturday,
Mhm.
I need a map for the trolley driver.
Okay. It would probably be the same, aside from, there is one stop we'd like to add. Going around in my brain on Saturday, I was like, you know what, it would be really cute if we had a photo op area. And so I contacted, Rod, and he's making a backdrop for us. It says, welcome to Kingsburg, with our district logo on it. It'll be a 6x6 wall, and then I'm gonna bring in some Christmas trees. Jill from Mercantile said she has some furniture. Lauren's got a cute little table, and we're gonna put a few things, so that we would like to maybe put that like in the middle of Draper Street, like maybe the alley by Tammy's, and make that a stop, if we could do that, so that the trolley stop there, ladies can get off, take their picture, selfie station kind of thing, and then, I think that's probably the best place to put it. Thoughts on anybody have thoughts?
That'd be good.
It's like in the middle of town.
I like
Would
this
we
one.
be blocking the alleyway with it, or can we
Not
put
that
it off
big.
to the side?
It could be, it's not, it's 6x6.
Isn't that where the Stanton's house goes?
Yeah, but will it be there Saturday?
Oh, no, no,
Yeah.
no,
It'll be
no.
already.
It won't be there Saturday.
I'll see what forms have to be filled out too.
Okay,
Put something in the public right away right there. I'll let you guys know.
okay. And if it can't be there, then we'll find some other place that we can put it, but I think it needs to be in the middle to kind of draw people.
Probably set it up in front of the chamber if you needed to also.
Okay.
Um,
Room there.
The only, Josh, are you guys gonna be serving? I know in the past you guys kind of come out right there. Are you gonna be inside yours, or are you gonna be like in that little alley where people see you guys?
We're hoping to be open pretty soon here,
Okay.
so,
So if we're in the alley, is it gonna block people like walking through your door, or?
yeah, well, that's a concern. I mean, we're not open yet, you know, we're probably looking at about 4 to 6 weeks before we have enough inventory to actually open our doors, but we're definitely concerned about both Santa's Hut and anything else going in front of the alley, because that's gonna be main access for us and also Vitality and people
Yeah.
go back there for London.
Well, we're talking just for this, just this Saturday.
Yeah.
And then
This Saturday is not a problem.
Okay, so you're not
Yeah,
gonna
but
be
we
out,
need to
okay.
address Santa's Hut issue, because that's
Yeah.
always been an issue
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
Which we've not been open then, so no big deal, but going forward,
For this Saturday, it's fine.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. At this banner, I have no idea how much it's gonna cost, it's not gonna be that crazy. I need to ask if we have money to buy this, and if we don't, then we'll tell
You
you.
guys have funds,
We have
yeah,
funds, okay.
yeah. You just have to bring it onto the agenda as an item, and then, you guys could vote on it.
Okay, if it doesn't have,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Just
don't
email
know
it to
if we
me.
can make this happen, but it might be nice to have like a little pamphlet right by our photo opt thing that people can take that like gives a little description of what the BID is, because since it's gonna be like on the backdrop, then I feel like that, like, people will go up and like grab that and they could kind of like read about it or read about, some history of Kingsburg really quick, or, you know, and then they can have that to carry. I don't know,
Kind of cute.
we can make
Do you
that,
guys have time to do that for Saturday?
I can put in some work for that, yeah.
Okay.
The QR code, like to our Instagram, so they can like follow along with
Oh,
what
we
we
can
do.
do a QR code?
I think even just like print a
Like a
QR
print.
code to a link so they can like see everything, and to our website, because really our website has all that stuff.
Okay, that
So,
sounds great.
and it sounds a lot easier than making and printing.
QR code.
Okay, so you girls are gonna handle information at the,
Yeah, we're gonna make a QR code.
all right. So when I get the backdrop, I'll just touch base with you guys and tell you when to bring all your goodies to me, and we'll put it together real fast, okay?
Well, I think we can, with the holiday shopping discussion, that's what we're on,
Mm-hmm.
we could approve a budget for that right now, right?
We're talking about,
Because it's an action item,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we could approve a budget right now for that, so that we can get paid for right away.
Yeah.
Somebody's not out, so, what are your guess?
I have no idea.
It's just one single banner,
Mm-hmm.
thing,
6x6.
can't be more than $1,000. Yeah, I think if I'll make a motion to approve up to $1,000 to, pay for marketing-related expenses for the, holiday kickoff.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
There you go.
Thank you, Reggie.
There, you got some money.
Okay. So we're good on Saturday? Trolley, we're gonna give Abby Abigail, the map, the solid?
getting washed today, hopefully after the rain, and we're all good to go for the driver, for the hours that you guys requested.
Mhm.
So we need the map, and then, you guys need trolley stops, like the trolley stops here,
Okay.
signs, so I could work with you guys for that. I think the chamber, you guys had like A-frame boards last time.
Yeah, I think we have some,
That's probably easier than those wood birdhouses that we have that are super heavy.
yeah. Yeah, well, I think we have A-frames, and then I wanna say we either still have the signs, or Mary has the template to print them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a Word document.
Yeah.
I can make them also, but
Yeah.
it's good to have the date and the hours that the trolley's running,
Okay.
so people aren't sitting there.
We did 10 to,
Yeah,
that day,
I was
yeah.
just emailing with him yesterday. I don't know if it's on my phone though. Yeah, it's like, I think it's like 8 hours throughout the
Yeah.
day, yeah.
I think it's 10 to 5.
Okay. Also, in promotion, Peyton and I made a downtown reel, that's just kind of a generic downtown, everything's waiting for you. It's 30 seconds, so it doesn't have every single business included, but it has the whole downtown vibe, that's the point.
What businesses are included?
There's a long list,
It's
not every single thing,
yeah,
but.
it's just like them walking into the village mall, them looking in my window, them like getting coffee from Cuppa, like, it's just, we just walk down Great Bend, took a million videos and go in, out, in, out, in, out.
She had posted on social too for anybody that had a shopping bag that wanted to do it, so she had some responses and
Yeah.
used those.
We did put it out if people wanted to be involved, like, if you
Oh, I didn't see
like,
that.
us carrying your shopping bag,
Mm-mm.
like respond to our, and one of them actually was like, they made it all cute, it was really fun.
Where did you post that? Did you send us an
It was
email?
on the
No, it was
closed
in
thread.
stories, yeah.
Yeah, where just the businesses see
But
it.
this is the first video, so we're happy
Yeah.
to
And it
include
was
more.
pretty quick,
Yeah.
I don't know about your side, my side was quick.
Yeah, it was fast, it wasn't too hard to edit. So we're gonna post that this morning, so that's what we wanted to share. Well, it would be nice if people could share it too, and any of the graphics that you see, because the more people that share it, obviously, the more traction it gets on social
Yeah.
media.
Hopefully every week we can do, or every other week do one with a different, so everybody kind of gets.
Yeah, but we can, yeah, exactly.
I will say I've had businesses reach out that aren't on social media, but receive emails. And so I think they would, if you guys can, also email it out or send it to
Yeah.
me. Because they weren't even sure about the holiday kickoff, because they're not on social media.
Mhm. This is the other thing too, that we need to look into going forward is because we partner with Chamber this time, I had several vendors call me and ask me for vendor forms to come and be part of this event. And, one was quite adamant, well, the Chamber lets me come, and I said, I am aware of that, but this is a district function, and we're partnering with Chamber, and, maybe that's something that we'll look at in the future, but this is just to help drive our local economy.
well, there's no vendors at all.
Yeah, we had a lot of
There
messages
was a
like
lot of
that
DMs.
in reply to
Yeah.
the posting the
Me too.
graphics,
I had
and
to
our,
respond.
like, blanket response is always, this is the downtown business, promoted shopping day. Please reach out to the chamber, and I have the number on there, for future vendor opportunities. Because I
Yeah.
know there's like Santa Lucia, they have vendors and stuff, so we
Yeah.
just directed them to the chamber.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you guys to know that they, we turned them back to you, unfortunately.
Good.
So, unless it's something that we want to partner with, going forward someday. but I
The
don't
whole
think
goal
so.
was to
Separate, yeah.
Yeah.
not have not have any vendors down there.
Yeah. Okay, item number 5, marketing workshops, possible action. Peyton had, brought this forward about, educating, because Abigail was just talking about how people don't have social media. And Peyton was talking about, us offering a few marketing workshops to teach people who don't use Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all of that a little bit, just like a crash course on the basics. And is that something that we want to try to squeeze in here prior to fourth quarter? Or do you want to wait and start it with the new year? What are you guys thinking?
I think it'd be a good thing to do in the lull after the first of the year, personally.
Are these gonna be workshops, like, that would be included in these type of meetings, or it's gonna be
But
separate?
I think the idea is like outside like events, just like one evening every month or every other month, like everyone kind of just collab in one space, and like one night you can share what works for you, and I can share what, like we can all kind of take turns sharing what we know and what we can do. Like I know last week, all the girls in my little spot, there's two who aren't very like tech savvy with all this stuff, so we sat down, got them set up, got them familiar with their point of sale, like how to link stuff and how to like send people to book things. And so, and that was two inside of my store, so I'm like, I know that there's many others downtown that would benefit from that kind of thing. So I'm willing to host it in the back of the bridal store, we can do it at Bella Rose, you know, wherever. It can wait, I know this is a super busy time of year, so we can wait till January for it, I just wanted to make sure we kind of talk about it and kind of see how everyone feels and get on board.
I think it would be neat to include, like, people downtown too, to like have them come in even to these, like, for example, to have the police department come in and do like a short little thing about how to prevent holiday theft, or like something that would benefit retailers downtown, or, you could have some of your agencies that offer like insurance or things like similar to that, that could come in and say like, is your business insured correctly, like, just some tips, you know,
From, yeah,
just a way to share each other.
yeah. It might seem good common knowledge, but
Do we wanna try and do that for
holiday, like
then?
a safety one.
We could, ask them if they're able to come in and speak at the next meeting, the December meeting,
Oh, that would be fun.
beginning of, it's like the first couple days of December.
Yeah,
Yeah, it works.
yeah, that'd be cool. Cool. So we'll start that in like January. The safety one next.
It would be December 6th.
Very good. Item number 6, downtown street eats, possible action. How did your last one go?
Went well. The, vendors did well, the, restaurants were busy. The restaurants were busy where we had the vendors. Where there were not vendors, people did not go that direction. That was the biggest thing we found. So when we had it just on this block, they didn't make their way farther down to Fugazi's and all the stuff down there. And then obviously they made it to Los Pepes because it's right there within eye shot. But, that was probably the biggest thing we noticed is where it's at is where the people are at. And that's where the businesses see the most effect. It was kind of disappointing because there wasn't too many businesses open. I know June stayed open for a while, but other than that, there wasn't much else open. So we don't really know if it benefited the retailers
Right.
because of the lack of participation, so.
So is Chamber scheduled to host or work with Street Eats in the future at this point?
Yes, we're looking at probably February being the next one if we do it. So we just wanted to get the feedback on if it's beneficial or not, and if we have the support, yes, to continue doing it or not. So, thoughts?
Is it something that we would like to explore with the Chamber, Fresno Street Eats?
Does it make money? Like, how would it benefit? Obviously, if the businesses are busy, it's good, but like, is it gonna benefit the bid in that way?
Well, it's not a money-making thing for the chamber or the bid. That's not the design of it. It's there to bring people from out of town into town.
Last time though, you had mentioned the chamber was losing money on it though every time, so I feel like,
Well, yeah, there's an expense to putting it on.
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna cost money, but that's part of why we exist as a chamber and as a bid, to invest those resources we have to help our businesses, to help drive people in. It's only, I mean, we're looking at $600 roughly, to put it on. I think $600 is a pretty decent investment to bring, you know,
It does bring
1,000
a lot of
people into town.
in. I feel like it does, I don't know how everyone else feels, but there's people coming from different cities
Oh, yeah.
to come to this, and, which also gets more people into like our places to eat. When the lines are so long, then they're coming downtown to eat or look around, and I think it's beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fresno Street Eats has, I think, something like 140,000 social media followers, so it's $600 of marketing to 140,000 people.
I think my question is, because our primary concern as a bid board is to, promote and foster businesses downtown. So I would be curious to ask for their feedback, the restaurants, if they want this to continue as far as like what our point of view is, you know? I know you said some of them were excited about it, some of them are members of the chamber, so they're clearly on board with the event. So I guess that would be my perspective, would be like, what's the feedback from the local restaurants? Is this an event that they are welcoming, and if so, then let's back them, and if they're not seeing success from this night, then maybe we don't back it. That's kind of my thought, was just like, let's take the perspective of the downtown restaurant.
Can we send out a text that maybe
Some
has
type
a
of
link?
survey or
Like a
something,
Google form maybe?
A survey.
That'd be good.
survey the
We-
downtown restaurant.
You probably won't get any responses, but it's worth a try.
Well, all we can do is try and
Yeah.
hope that people,
Yeah.
you know.
We've talked to most of them, we've talked to the restaurants, we talked to all the restaurants that night, and the feedback was positive from from Los Pepes, Roadhouse, and Casaros, because they're right there where it was happening. Fugazi said they had kind of a lighter night, but they were not within the area where it was, and same with, Deli Costa said that it was kind of light over there for them too. But I think it's just because there's no traffic flow over that direction
Right.
for people to recognize it. The chamber looks at events like that of, we're trying to find a way to bring people into Kingsburg.
Mhm.
So many of our events really only cater to the residents already in Kingsburg that know us well. So finding a way to bring outside people into town that's a mass majority of our goal as a chamber of commerce, is to drive commerce and bring people to town and have them come see the town. They may not spend a lot of money that night in any of our restaurants, because they may spend it at a food truck or whatnot, but that doesn't mean they don't walk up and down the street and go, you know what, I'd like to come back here sometime when we have other time, or, oh, I hear that pizza's really good, maybe we'll come try that tomorrow or something. So it's kind of frustrating for us as a chamber when we receive negative feedback on something like that, saying, all you're doing is taking business away from businesses that night, when that's really not the intention.
Right.
It's to bring to bring people into town for future business. And I know we get a lot of, the city council even brought it up and said they were thankful that we did this, because it's what they've been trying to do for years. So that's kind of where we're at with it. It's trying to find that balance of how do we help our membership and help our businesses in town in general, when everything we try to do, they don't like.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a way to, maybe you guys already discussed it, do the event where it doesn't, create too much of, a focus in certain areas, and it doesn't squash the business of the businesses outside of that? Like, how can we do it where it doesn't make Fugazi's have a slow night and Casaros have a busy night? How can you do it where everybody benefits?
I would think that the more we invest into Fresno East, the more of their vendors, because not all of their vendors come to your events, correct?
Correct, yeah, it depends. They have anywhere from, some of the smaller things we've done with them, we ended up with like 2 or 3 trucks just to supplement something other vendors
And
we
there
have.
are some local vendors that come in?
There are quite a few of our vendors that are part of things that have been doing stuff in town for years are also part of Street Eats.
Whatnot.
Kettle Corn, Naughty Chicks, there's a few, of Julie's Tacos, there's a few of them, so.
So,
So you're saying you need more participation to spread it out amongst Draper Street so that every restaurant feels the overflow versus the opposite?
And then we also need participation from the businesses to actually be open.
encourage our retail to be
Yeah.
open. We have to prove to them that it's been a benefit to them, and
Yeah.
that's the rub. That's the rub. So you guys are gonna do this in February,
That's our plan as of right now, yes.
so I would, I would hope that we, like physically, no text, no email that you're not going to get a response from, but if we could set aside some time in January and physically go door to door and say, hey, this is what's going on with our little clipboard of paper. Are you guys in? Are you out? What are your concerns? And we can come back and we can say, we've had a conversation with every business down the line. We have to go engage with these people.
Yep.
We have to go door to door, face to face, and engage with people. Because there's always, oh, I didn't get that email, or oh, I didn't get that text message, or oh, this or that, or they're busy, I don't have time to do that. We have to engage, and we have to see if our members in this bid, in this district, are going to get behind this or not. And if we can have that information to them prior to their next event, it would help them tremendously. I mean, if it means in January I should be quieter, I go door to door, so be it. I mean, are we down to do that? I mean,
Yeah, I think
because I'm frustrated, because we're like repping 10 businesses out of 150. It has to stop now. We have to prove to these people that their money is worth it, because I'm getting hacked.
Yep.
And I'm getting rallied by people, and I don't know what to tell them anymore, you guys. I'm sorry, I know I'm busy, but we have to be face to face. We've got to get engaged. If we need to go find a person, an entrance in the city, or somebody that can go and engage on a face-to-face level, and us bring the fight to them, let's do it.
That's one thing
We're 2 years in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's one thing we've really noticed in the chamber is you can send all the emails, you can send all the letters, you can make all the phone calls you want. You're never gonna get a response from anybody unless you actually go talk to them.
Yep.
And then still, when you go talk to them, you're gonna get the, oh, everything's fine.
Uh-huh.
And,
But at least
but they're
we
gonna
can say
sit
we
there
had
and
a
continue to,
conversation.
yeah, but they're gonna sit there and continue to chip away behind you about all the things that they're unhappy about
Yeah,
to other people instead of actually coming and talking to the people that can make a difference about what they're unhappy about.
Yeah.
So,
I know I
That's
sound a
our
little bit passionate
frustration
about
right now.
this today, but, I get every negative comment about this organization on the regular. And I wanna turn it around because I do believe in this and I see success everywhere. So I will set aside the time in January to poll everyone to give the chamber information about this situation. And I'm gonna encourage, that's why I put a post out yesterday. Hey, come be part of this.
Yep.
Come be part of it. Don't just call me and complain about everything we talked about in this meeting today. Come be a part of it.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what we need to see too, like, we need to look at, who is complaining, because we're all putting a lot of footwork in as it is to
Yeah.
run our businesses and run the BID and help everybody.
Yeah.
So who, it's like, who's complaining, are they,
I recommend they come to meetings and voice their concerns to the whole board so that we can all help to navigate that situation and the burden's not all on you.
And it's not just retail either.
no.
It's professionals.
Yeah.
It's everyone
It's everybody.
who had to write that extra check.
Yep.
That's the bottom line, is their money, and I get it, and they wanna know exactly where I spent their money. So, and I tell them, hey, here's the forms, you can go read them, they're public knowledge. So it's not just retail, it's professional, it's service people, it's everybody. So come January, I'm gonna hit the streets and we're gonna figure this out. We've got this webpage that's supposedly up and running, I don't know 100% on that deal. And so, the comment was made to me yesterday, so I paid 2 years with a bid, and I'm getting ready, what did I pay, 2 years?
Yeah.
2 years of bid, I'm getting ready to pay my third check, and I have an Instagram post. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it looks like. But there are other things, and I rattled up other things that
Well, I
we've
think the
done.
events themselves
Yeah.
are measurable.
Yeah, I mean, you have to rattle that back to them, though.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
no, I don't think the bid,
Events, what
I don't
events
think
have
the
we
bid
had?
exists to share someone's social media, you know, I don't think that that's the whole point. Especially
That's
when you
all
guys
they
are saying, but you guys are saying that very few people in town have a social media presence, so we can only do what we can do, you know? Now we're being tasked with teaching them how to create social media so we can share it.
So would you folks be behind the idea of us getting an intern in some way to take some of that off so that we have a person, that is their job?
Sure. Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is an all volunteer thing, you know?
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
Us as a board, we're doing all of these things on our extra time, which seasonally can be less, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I think we are trying to promote downtown, otherwise none of us would even be here, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest concern is having neutral ground for what goes on the social media posts and what the engagement is there. I mean, when you look at a couple of things, and I know we're kind of getting off topic here, but it kind of ties in. A couple of things, when you look at what we are as a agency right now, is we're 2 years, about to hit the third year of income for this thing, and we have almost a webpage to show for it and some Instagram, and that's really not anything.
What about the holiday kickoff? Are we
Well,
not-
we've had the holiday kickoff, which, that's always been an event that goes on, but what's our investment in the holiday kickoff other than social media posts?
We are making progress.
Last year, 10 hours doing all the baskets.
Well, no, I know, there's stuff that we internally have done, ourselves, but
This is not
as-
about what we have done.
Right,
No,
no,
this is
I,
about
This is about what the perception of what we have
I'm
done.
not
Yeah.
sure that you can tick off a list of things that the bid has done for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's measurable in a way that's gonna satisfy everyone who wrote a check, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the same with like the chamber, like
Sure.
it's an immeasurable thing, you know?
But we have to
The
find a
difference
way to show that.
That the difference between us and the chamber, and this is the other thing that's brought to me, it's an option for them to join the chamber, it is not an option.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's-
and that plays into the other complaint that I've gotten a lot of is we have a lot of businesses in the district that do a lot of the things that we need done, but we have gone to other cities altogether to have things done. They're not, we have our own membership that can do part of these things.
Like,
And we, like, well, I mean, the website,
yeah, but we bid, we asked.
we did do a
Yeah,
bid,
so-
yeah, definitely, and I'm not saying
Yeah,
that, but I'm,
we did give the opportunity to local folks for photography as well. Anything that has been an expense, we always lean towards locals first.
right,
we tried.
we tried.
Through the.
And and we couldn't afford them, and I get it,
Yeah.
you gotta be smart with the money, but I think that's an education piece we can spend with those merchants and say, hey, look, if you really wanna, you gotta meet us where you can meet us here.
Mhm.
But I know we talk about the membership part of it, the chamber's a member of the bid, but the bid's not a member of the chamber.
I don't think we.
How does the bid?
I don't know if we could, the
We
city,
can.
the city is, and all the city departments are members.
Well, we're part of the city, so.
So I guess that would-
Remember.
It's just it's that perception of, and I get, and I, going back to what Leslie's saying is, it's gonna be really difficult for us to explain what we're doing with people's money when there's not a lot to show. And yes, there's all the behind-the-scenes work, but you can't show the behind-the-scenes work. And that doesn't look, and that's not an investment to people
Okay.
if they don't see it.
So I think my goal for our third year is for us to prove the value. Let's just make it blatantly obvious. Does that make sense? I know what we've done, and I appreciate you guys 1,010%.
Definitely.
We need to put it out there so that we educate everyone in this district what we have been doing for 3 years. And you have to overload them on it.
And you have to go and talk to them about
We
it.
need to go and talk to them.
You can't just send out, I know we talked about doing a newsletter, you can't just send out a newsletter, because half of those more than half of them just end up getting tossed at best. Or if it goes in the email, they don't even read it. But, I think kind of going back to the street, tying it back into what we're talking about with Street Eats is, how do you bring people into town? How do you promote businesses in town by simply having those businesses showcased? Because you can market downtown Kingsburg as much as you want, but there's only so much there, and there's only so much draw. So it's the events that bring in the additional people, and that's true of Swedish Festival, Car Show, any of those things. That's you're bringing in people for something specific that they want to see, and in turn, they go, oh, wait, here's all this other stuff. And that's our challenge of marketing, is you gotta find that pull that's there, that people are willing to come to.
Who is the driving force behind tree lighting? Is it just you, June? Is it a city endorsed thing? Is it a chamber?
It's a
endorsed?
chamber event.
It's a chamber event?
Mhm.
Okay, all right. I didn't know who that was. That's something that, we need to.
There are several of us that work on it, and we all just do our thing.
Yep.
You know, comes together. But I want to mention this. Remember, we've been talking about the parking issue?
Mhm.
Well, Peyton brought me some little,
Flyers, uh-huh.
like this, little flyers, but that same day, a man came into my store to buy honey. He says, I told my wife, I think he lives in Fresno, he said, I told my wife that we could buy our honey just right across the street. And I said, oh, you work across the street? And he said, yeah, he works at the produce broker's place. And I said, oh, are you a manager? And he says, no, I'm one of the owners. And so I told him our dilemma. I said, we really rely on the holidays, for survival, because our customers don't have a place to park. So would you be willing to ask your employees? He says, I had mentioned it to them before, but I will really get on them now. And it has been better. We have some blank spaces from now and then.
That's the benefit of the face-to-face
There you go.
conversation. Yep, definitely.
Go, June.
Yep.
Before we move on, what you guys are talking, it's about to be business license renewal season in
Mhm.
3 weeks, and I get to hear it from everyone that comes in and pays. I get paid to do it, so it's okay, but if you guys could have something like you're talking about, like, this is who your board is, this is when we meet, if you want to sign up for emails or text messages, do this here, QR code to the website. If I have some piece of paper to give to people that come in and says, what is this extra fee that I'm paying, that would be awesome. Because most of them will come in and talk to me about it.
Yeah, we definitely need something tangible to give to people.
Yeah, I think last year I had because just the beginning, like the Google form,
Yeah. and
this
then
is
a
how you
little
do
date
social
to
media.
remember.
Right.
And that was helpful, because at least I could
Okay.
show it to them. Or the girls up front, if I'm not here to talk to them and they ask the front desk, what's the BID, like, they're probably not gonna get the full description.
Jumping back to the Street Eats thing, Reggie, I think I would just like to explore a little bit more the power of collaboration within our own, because I know like Bella Rose has done stuff with McGosh at Bella Rose, and it was wild, like, there's been super busy things, so I'm just wondering, yes, we know what it's like to have the Street Eats here, but I'm also kind of wondering, what is it like if we just plan events with our own vendors? Because I know we've done stuff before, and it's great, and it's nice because it's people who do live here, it's not just like let's get out of town and go somewhere, it's people who are regularly in town on a weekly basis spending their money here, instead of like, let's come back and go, it's like, no, you're down the street, let's go get Four Stars on a weekly basis. So I'm open to the idea of, yes, Street Eats is great, but also maybe one of those months, instead of bringing people in, let's do something with our own people. Like, let's do, I don't know, not a bar crawl, but like from Stack to Los Pepes to Roadhouse and McGosh, like do things. Sounds great to the pregnant lady. So I would just kind of like to explore both options, because A, working with the people we have isn't gonna cost us anything other than, really, it's not gonna cost us anything.
Then would it be gonna cost? It's still gonna cost us, because we have to provide restrooms, wash stations.
Well, but if they're going from like place to place,
The city's gonna require, anytime you have an event that's inviting people in, you're gonna have to have extra trash cans, you're gonna have to have porta potties, you're gonna have to have all of those things, because what happens when like the events you guys have done in the past, is it overwhelms Casaros and Roadhouse from a restroom standpoint, for one thing. It overwhelms all of their trash cans, it overwhelms their staff. So you have, there's a lot of things that have to go into those. I agree, those events are exactly what we've been trying to get our businesses and our membership to do in town already, is we always look at it as one thing where the chamber is here, or the bid is here, both, to support the businesses that are here, to do the events that bring in the customers, and do the things to do the customers. What's happened so much over the years is that we've removed the businesses from it because of either lack of participation or whatever the situation might be. And the chamber or the bid has been doing those events to bring in the customers. So yes, we need to get the businesses back involved in those processes and have them really be the ones spearheading, leading, putting on the events with the bid and the chamber behind them to support them, either financially, marketing, logistics, working with the city, all those kind of things. That's the way that should flow. And that's, I know what you guys are trying to do your thing, but I feel like there's too much of this disconnect of, in all of the things that go on. We can say Uptown Sprouts does this, Trinkets and Treasures does this. There's a lot of businesses that are like, hey, we're gonna throw on our event, and we're gonna do this thing, we're gonna close the street down, whatever it is, and have an event. And they don't even communicate back to the chamber or other businesses to say, hey, can we work on this together? How can you help us? And how can we work together to make this a successful thing? So there's such a big disconnect right now between all those different businesses and the organizations there to support them, that it just, I don't want to say it doesn't work, but it looks really bad that you almost have clicks at the end of the day of, well, we're gonna put on our thing over here, we're gonna put on our thing over here, and you're not invited to our thing, or the perception is you're not invited to our thing, or we're gonna do this because this organization hasn't done anything to help us out. Well, you also haven't asked for us to help you with anything. So removing that lack of communication and stigma between all the different businesses is really, and organizations, is really what we need to work on. Because there is not a cohesiveness in downtown. All I hear is this business is upset about what this business is doing. This person is carrying a product that only I'm allowed to carry. Or they're opening a store that directly competes with us. And I'm sorry, but that's capitalism. That's how it works. Or somebody's putting on an event that is gonna block my business. Okay, yeah, so be involved in that event. Let your business benefit from it.
Right, Peyton tried to start a Google Calendar
Yeah.
for everyone to share their events and come on board. Yeah.
We have the Google Calendar,
Yeah.
but we also,
I think people don't know how to use it, because I don't know how to use it.
yeah.
Engagement.
It's really weak.
Education and engagement.
And I know it was brought up earlier about social media. We ask people to make posts and tag us to share.
Yeah.
4 businesses do that.
Yeah.
Those 4 businesses get shared. So do you not share them because you shared them yesterday? Or do you spend your time finding content that can be shared? Like, it's a double-edged sword, because they're doing what you ask them to do.
You can't win, I'll tell you that right now, you can't
So now
win.
people are mad because that's all they see, but then you don't share them because you shared them 18 times in 5 days, and then now they're mad because you didn't share them 19 times, you know? But they're doing what you asked of them, they're doing exactly what you asked them, so.
It's like working with a toddler.
There's no, but it's just like, this whole thing boils down to, this is an extra benefit this audience is honestly the same as your own audience too. And we're all just here to make downtown better. The lack of communication we can work on, we're trying.
Yep.
But the forms of communication that exist, and you're saying, well, no one's gonna do that, no one's gonna check an email, but then you don't send enough emails. Like,
Yeah.
what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Trust me, I can tell you right now
Right.
from years of experience with the chamber, you cannot win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and the only feedback you're ever gonna get is the negative feedback. You're never gonna hear from the person that says, oh, that was great, thank you for doing that.
Right.
All you're gonna hear is, that was a terrible event because of X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
right?
You included 30 businesses in your video, but not 50.
I do
Right.
hear
It's
some
so hard.
positive things,
Okay.
guys.
Sure,
I
yeah,
do. I
okay.
feel like people.
Sure.
Hey, Lauren.
At least there's one.
But what my point is with it is, we really have to, it's gonna be on us and the people that we're working with, the organizations that we work with, to really do that face-to-face communication. Because then at the end of the day, they can't say, well, you never came to me, or I never got that email, or I never got any of that. It's like, hey, look, I came and I talked to you. In fact, you know what, I even wrote notes of what we talked about.
So
So
can
I know
I
what's
get a
going on.
question from send me a question that you want on the survey to go to the businesses in the district. Does that sound good?
And that survey
What do
is,
you
we
want?
walk in the door
Here-
and we
here you
hand
go.
it to them and they fill it
Let's
out
fill
in
it
front of
out.
us.
Yeah.
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 So like, I was gonna go off of what we've been talking about, so now like, what can we do better, okay? So
Yep.
like, what can we do from here, right?
Great
So,
question.
we need to do
Everything is their answer.
we need to do face-to-face, and, like, when I took and came downtown and took the little cards for people to fill out, I got good feedback during that time. So I think the face-to-face is great, and then I think we can hold some workshops at our own businesses, like, hey, we're part of the BID, I'll hold a workshop at the main salon, you know, one evening and get everyone
Like
to
little
participate,
mixers,
little mixers,
Yeah.
you know, donate coffees or whatever, do some stuff like that. And then, I don't know where it's going with that, but I think those are things we can work on. But also with the street eats, I think it is, we don't need to focus like what you were saying, Reggie, like this is for this business and this is not helping this business. But I think the street eats is helping everybody. I honestly think so.
It's marketing Kingsburg as a whole.
I agree. And
It's
then,
tapping 140,000 people versus what does our Instagram have?
1,800 that are
1,800.
already following you.
Yeah,
And so-
1,800 versus 140,000.
if we wanna get like some of our local vendors involved, okay, like the street eats is great. Well, I think us as BID, we need to host an event then. So we need to talk about what's an event that we can do with our local vendors and see if we have it in the budget to bring in extra trash cans, extra, I don't know, toilets, whatever
Yeah.
we have to do. And let's see if the BID can host our own event.
Events are a tangible thing that people can see you actually doing with their money.
Yes.
A lot of the other things we do, they know social media is free, but they also don't realize that there's a lot of labor that goes behind it, and it's being done for free right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
So having
And they
that
have
actual,
different
having tangible things that people can see
Yeah.
is the way you're going to prove to them you're doing something with their money.
Yeah, I want to.
Because right now, they're not seeing anything really. Like, they're not seeing tangible things, I should say, yeah, sorry.
And I want to be clear too, I'm not against the street eats, I just want to explore all of our options in terms of, our goal as a biz to help our businesses, support them, be successful, make them money. And it's like, what is the best way to do that? Yes, streets, but also I think there's other things we can do locally that would also benefit. I'm not saying it's one or the other, I'm just saying.
No, I know you're
Maybe
not.
let's explore all of our options and see, because I know in my experience, like with the Creamery in Bellaire, like, we've had great success doing these things. And we did get we did all, like, Neil takes care of all of it. But it is nice to work with your neighbors and to create that camaraderie and community within yourselves instead of just people you see once every other month. So it kind of creates that community. So I would love to just kind of explore both ideas, get feedback from everybody. That could be a question on our survey, like, what do you prefer? Because I know last time Steve said, when there's street eats, he steers clear, and he's one of the biggest spenders in town.
So he doesn't come down to.
Yeah, so I would just be curious to explore our options and see, what do people actually want? is it just bringing people once a month from out of town who just only come on those nights, or is it people like Steve who are here every day spending money in our town?
Don't you have a pretty good Kingsburg crowd, 'cause doesn't that bike crowd, the bike club come to Street Eats every time too? And that's
It's a
like-
very good Kingsburg crowd. One of the biggest feedbacks we get from Street Eats from local people is, thank you for bringing something else for us to eat in town, instead of the same restaurants we eat all the time. And then also, thank you for giving us an opportunity to not go to Fresno this Friday evening and spend all our money in Fresno. Instead, we can stay in Kingsburg and eat at the food trucks that we would have been seeking out anyways. So, yeah, there is, I think,
there's.
not to put it back on Steve or anything, but I think Steve might kind of be the exception in that situation. I think a lot of the younger crowd wants to be involved in the thing that's going on.
When you were saying how, spend their money in Kingsburg, do the food trucks benefit the city? They have to pay sales tax, or they're not on food, right? Like, how does it benefit,
If you serve hot food, there's sales tax.
They're paying sales tax, yeah.
They're paying sales tax. Do they have to have a vendor permit or business license?
So for special events, we have a tiered system so that we're not trying to keep track of every vendor that comes to events. So the person putting on the event pays a flat fee. It's like 1 to 25 vendors is this amount, 50 to
Okay.
75 is this amount. So that's
Yeah.
I
how,
was just curious how that
They all have
works.
their like health stuff though, right?
Oh, yeah.
that's up to Street Eats to.
Yeah,
and
no,
I
it's
think
all,
our
they
fire
all,
department's
yeah,
going around checking
fire
out,
department
too.
goes and harasses
Yeah.
them,
Business
health department
license,
does, all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering how that.
No, it's-
No, they all have their health
Because when
permits.
you say, like,
A, B,
spend their
C,
money
figure
in
And that's
out.
the good thing about
Fresno Food
Street
Truck
Eats
is
doing it and not the chamber.
Honestly, when Street Eats does it, we probably have a more legitimate vendor pool than we do when the chamber does it. Because the chamber doesn't have the capacity to go and do all the enforcement side of it. Street Eats, they cannot register without all of their health department stuff, without their reseller's permit. And Street Eats actually audits them
Okay.
on, because that's how they make their money, is off a percentage. So they actually audit them to ensure they are paying sales tax in the localities that they're at that time and everything. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I have to, but, good job. Okay, so technically what do you want me to?
I saw you wanting to say something.
Well, I know of public comment, I'm not supposed to talk.
Well, no, but
Oh,
it's on
no,
this,
you-
it's on this
you can
object.
talk about any of it. Just
Yeah.
come up and-
Just on the street thing?
Will you come up and say your name just real fast for the record?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Tom Zarate with Jackson and Associates on Draper.
I like it, but to Reggie's point, I think we can go Eaton Town anytime because we live here. And with the street eats, couple of things. One, I can go into town, get something different. My kids can run around, and I don't have to worry about them because it's Kingsburg, and we're really, really blessed for that. And so, and then if you have friends or family that are coming from out of town, street eats or otherwise, and you want to take them to the restaurants, it's like, they just get a feel for what the community is. So if that's what it takes to bring more people in, cool, because, yeah, tonight I can go eat here or there, like, I know Steve will stay away, but that's okay too, because one person to the whole community, again, to Reggie's point about, well, are we trying to make money, or are we just trying to break even, or what are we spending money on? At the end of the day, I don't know how many thousands of people, how many people float through here. I think that's, I don't know, I like it. Just for, for the point of that, just getting people here and, being able to just, like I said, I'm a big fan of kids running around. So it's nice to just see them running around and you don't have to worry about,
My kids are running out
you
all
know,
the time.
so,
Mhm.
anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks for coming too.
I'll see you next month.
Yay.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so we kind of went down some rabbit holes, sorry.
So tabling Street Eats for now.
Tabling trees. So,
Yep.
no, actually, what we're going to do is, we're not tabling it. We're
We
gonna
have
we're gonna do some work on it.
Some research.
We're gonna do some research, and we're gonna come to the table with answers for chamber and for ourselves as to what this district really, really wants. Okay, that's my homework.
I have a question on
Yeah.
the tree lighting. We have vendors come in for that, or no?
Not for
No.
tree
This
lighting,
isn't on the parade day.
just the parade, yep.
Okay, item number 8, any other business? Okay, item number 9, we're gonna adjourn to the next meeting, which you said is December 6th,
Mm-hmm.
8 AM?
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna